Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel and to another episode of Mondays Don't Suck. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It is Monday, but as we know, it's not Monday's fault if you're having a bad one. It's what you are doing today, and you are in charge of that. You can change that. So a quick recap. Last week was a pretty standard one. We did usual sort of things, business things, working on the business. And then, as you will have seen, hopefully, if you haven't, then check out the link up here to the awkward moment when both myself and Matt both realised we'd been making a few mistakes running the business. So that was a bit of a bad day, but it's good in a way because it gave us the kick in the nuts, as Matt put it, to try and sort things out. Now, coming up this week, funnily enough, is part of that, is sorting that out. We had a chat on Friday with John Hayes, and I'll talk about more of that in a minute. But yeah, that's largely going to be part of this week, is working on that. Also this week, I'm seeing Carl on Tuesday, I'm seeing Rick on Friday, and there's something else going on Wednesday, I think. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Pretty standard stuff. But yeah, as for this week, some social things, working on the business. I'm not going anywhere this week that I know of. I've also been chatting to Theo in the background. He's working like a man possessed on lots of different things, including sports chain and active trends and access marketing, all sorts of cool things. So I know Theo's been crazy busy, but if you haven't subscribed yet, go and check out his channel and you'll be kept up to date with all the exciting things that he's got going on. And also tomorrow we have a very cool Let's Talk Business episode with Richard Meldner. We recorded that last Friday, I think, or Thursday, but that's going live tomorrow. It's a long one, but it's Richard is an entrepreneur from Florida, and he tells us all about his journey through entrepreneurship, what he's been up to, also sharing some of his, the best and worst things, and finally the one tip that he would give to anyone perhaps watching this right now who is looking to get started. And it's a great interview, lots of insight, lots of value in that interview, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going live tomorrow. Thank you again, Richard, for taking the time out of your day to come and chat with me. So the one thing that I wanted to talk to you today was about asking for help, and you saw very publicly me bring this up on whenever it was, Thursday last week, and yeah, it wasn't that was probably the hardest video that I've had to make, and it was acknowledging that I'd taken my eye off the ball a little bit with the business and we were making some mistakes, and now it was time to fix them. And then on Thursday afternoon, myself and Matt had a chat with John Hayes, who I met up with a couple of weeks ago. John is, as we said, a marketing expert, and I'd love to get John on an interview, and I'm sure we will do at some point very soon on the channel. But the point is, John not only is an expert, and I've learned a lot from John over the years that I've known him, but ultimately John is a fresh pair of eyes. Like myself and Matt, we can get blinded by the business. We work on it every single day. We see the website, we see the different things that we've tried and done. And even, like I said, myself and Matt had an hour-long conversation with John and on Thursday, and he'd already thrown out in the space of half an hour like 3 or 4 things which I'd not even considered. And that is where the value right there is with John. Is you're not only bringing in a fresh pair of eyes, but you're bringing in a fresh set of ideas into the business. And like I said, myself and Matt, we've been very good with the business, but ultimately I think getting an outsider to come in and just putting your hands up and saying, listen, we need some advice, we need some help, we don't have all the answers for this, or even it's just a case of we think we have the answers for this, but we'd like a second opinion on, from an expert. What do you think? And I think that's where there is immense value. And like I said, we're hopefully catching up with John again this week. He's putting together hopefully a bit of a plan for us and a few ways in which we can sort of work with John on not the issues, but more like the ways that we can optimize the business a little bit better and do a bit better with the marketing stuff. So that's what I'm most looking forward to this week. There's the day job as well, which never goes away, with creating the content and making sure the team are happy and got things to do. So yeah, I think the main point of this video has been to never be too proud or too vain to ask for help or advice. I always hold my hands up. I don't know everything. You know, I put it out there. I'm learning every day. You know, I did right. You know, there's the old saying that you fake it till you make it, and I think there was an element of that when I was younger. But even now, it's a case of, you know, I've learned a lot. But you don't know everything, and ultimately, I'm not too proud or too vain to admit that and to ask for help. And I think if you can do that as an entrepreneur, as a business person, it's only going to help you succeed. If you can rely on your network that you've built over time to rely on them as experts. You know, I know people phone me all the time and ask about what they should do with this eBay listing, or should I sell this on Amazon, or do you think this is a good idea? And I'll just give them my honest advice. And ultimately that's exactly the same as what we've done with John. John has spent years being a content marketing expert. He's an author. You know, he gets the whole marketing and sales side, and that right now is where we identified that we were letting ourselves down, and who better to get some feedback from and some advice up from than the man himself. You know, I'm not a marketing expert by any means. I know a little bit, but compared to John, not much at all. So I think that's the key takeaway for today. Asking for help is 100% normal in life, but also in business. You know, nobody expects you as the CEO, as the founder, as the entrepreneur to know everything. In fact, Richard Branson once said, you know, he hires people better than him, and that's why he's been successful. And ultimately, that's what we've done with John. John is better than us when it comes to the marketing and the sales side, and that's why we want to work with John in order to try and help us take things to the next level and fix any problems that we've been having. So I hope you found this Manc Entrepreneur video useful, this Mondays Don't Suck episode, all about motivation and admitting that, you know, we don't have all the answers, but I'm not too scared to go and ask someone for the answers. Not too scared to go and ask someone who knows what they think or what their advice would be in a given situation. And I hope that you feel that you can do the same. With that said, if there's anything that you ever think I can help you with, or anything you want to run by me, that comment section down below is always open. I'll always get back to you as soon as I can. With that said, hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you are new. The cool video with Richard is live tomorrow morning. You should definitely check that out. And with that said, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video.